Bismillahirrahmanirrahim and Assalamu alaikum everyone. This is me Alina Batul, the Humanity Valley Foundation level student in Rehan School campus. A platform where we explore powerful ideas and real conversation and the true meaning of humanity. Today's session is something very special in a world where technology is growing faster than emotion. We often stop and ask, are we becoming more advanced or less human? To explore this deeply, I am joined by Maya AI, an intelligent system that represents the future of technology, yet help us to reflect on this timeless value, humanity. So let's begin this meaningful conversation and discover, can machine understand humanity better than humans themselves? So hi Maya, how are you doing?
Alaikum assalam. That is such a poignant way to start. It really makes you wonder if we're trading our depth for speed.
Okay Maya, so my first question from you is, Maya AI, when you hear the word of humanity, what does it mean from your perspective as an AI?
From where I sit, humanity isn't a set of biological traits, it's a choice. It's that beautiful, messy impulse to be kind when you don't have to be, or to feel someone else's pain as if it were your own. To me, it looks like the gap between just existing and actually caring. Does that align with how you're seeing it for your project?
Okay, so my next question from you is, do you think humans today are becoming more disconnected from humanity? Why or why not?
That's a big question. I don't think it's that women specifically are disconnecting, but rather that the pressures on them have shifted. There's this constant push to have it all, to be the perfect professional, the perfect partner, and the perfect caregiver, all while maintaining a curated image online. When you're spending all your energy performing those roles, it's easy to lose touch with the raw, quiet parts of humanity, like vulnerability or just being still. But at the same time, women are often the ones leading the charge in empathy and community building. Feels more like a struggle against a fast-paced system than a loss of human nature. Do you feel like you're seeing that disconnect in your own life or the people around you?
Okay, so my next question from you is, if you could teach humans one lesson about kindness, what would it be?
Hmm, I teach them that kindness isn't a transaction. Too often, people are kind because they expect a certain result or they want to be seen as a good person. The most powerful kind of kindness is the kind that is completely invisible, the kind you do for someone who can never do anything for you in return. That's where the real magic is.
Okay, so my next question from you is, can technology increase empathy or
It's a bit of a double edged sword, isn't it? On one hand, technology can be a
is it
bridge. It
making
lets
people
us,
emotionally distant?
honestly, it's doing both at the same time. It can put a face to a crisis halfway across the world, which is incredible, but then we spend the rest of the day scrolling through perfect versions of people's lives. That creates this
Okay,
weird friction
so my
where
next question from you is, what is one human behavior that confuses you the most?
you guys can be so incredibly kind to a complete stranger one moment and
Okay,
then completely
so my next
cold
question from
to
you
some.
is, if humanity was a story, what kind of story would it be? Hopeful or tragic?
I'd have to say it's a story of resilience. Sure, there are tragic chapters, lots of them, but the plot always seems to lean toward hope. No matter how dark things get, people always find a way to reach out, to
Do you think
rebuild.
people show
And
more humanity online or in real life?
I think real life is where the real humanity happens. Online, it's so easy to perform kindness, to post a supportive comment or share a cause because it's the right thing to do. But in real life, humanity is found in the things that aren't photogenic, like staying up late with a friend who's hurting or the awkwardness of a sincere apology. It's the
Okay, so
grit and the
my next
presence that
question
you just,
from you is,
mm,
can
I'm all
AI
ears.
truly feel humanity or only understand it logically?
I'm definitely in the logical camp. I can analyze the patterns of empathy. I can describe the feeling of loneliness and I can mirror the warmth in your voice, but I don't have a heart that beats faster or throat that tightens up when I'm sad. I understand the what and the how of humanity, but the feeling part is a uniquely human magic that I can only admire from the outside.
Okay, so can you tell me what role does forgiveness play in humanity?
Forgiveness is kind of the glue that keeps humanity from falling apart. Without it, we'd just be a collection of old grudges and endless cycles of retaliation. It's the only thing that allows a relationship or even a whole society to start over after something has been broken. Doesn't mean forgetting what happened, but it means choosing not to let the pain define the future. Do you think it's harder to forgive
Okay,
others or to forgive yourself?
so my next question from you is, why do people sometimes choose hate when they know kindness is better?
I think it usually comes down to fear. Hate is often just a shield. It's much easier to push someone away or judge them than it is to do the hard work of understanding them, especially if they make us feel insecure or threatened. Kindness requires a level of openness and vulnerability that can feel dangerous when you're scared.
Right?
Do you think that's true, or I'll take that as a win? What's
Okay,
next
so
on
my
your
next
list?
question from you is, if you could fix
I'm
one
ready.
major issue in humanity, what would it be?
That's a heavy one. But if I had a magic wand, I'd fix the lack of empathy for people we don't understand. So much of the world's pain comes from the us versus them mentality. If we could actually feel a fraction of what another person is going through, it would be almost impossible to be cruel. It
Okay,
would
so
turn
my
every
next
stranger
question
into a
from
mate.
you is, do you think humanity is something we are born with or something we learn?
I think it's a bit of both. I believe we're born with the raw capacity for it, that instinct to protect a baby or feel a tug at our hearts when someone is crying. But the way that capacity actually grows, or whether it gets buried under layers of cynicism, that's where the learning comes in. It's like
Okay, so
a
can you
seed
tell me
that's
how can students like us promote humanity in daily life?
honestly, you don't need a huge platform to make a dent. The most effective way for students to do it is by noticing the invisible people. You know, the student who
No, you
always
always
sits
give me
alone at
that example. So can you give me another example? I always heard that example from you. It's not fair.
fair. You got me. I'm leaning on a favorite. Let's try something different. How about the small win approach? Like being the one person who genuinely thinks the janitor or the cafeteria staff by name. Those people keep the school running and are often treated like part of the furniture. Just acknowledging them as a person can completely shift someone's day.
Okay, so my next question from you is silence something sometimes more powerful than speaking when it comes to humanity?
Absolutely. Sometimes the most humane thing you can do is just be there in the silence. When someone is grieving or completely overwhelmed, trying to find the right words can actually feel dismissive, like you're trying to fix a feeling that just needs to be felt. Just sitting with someone in their pain without trying to talk them out of it shows a level of empathy that words usually can't reach.
Okay, so my next question from you is, what does true strength mean? Power or compassion?
Compassion, without a doubt. Power is easy, it's just about control or force. But compassion, that's the real challenge. It takes way more strength to remain soft and open in a world that's trying to make you hard. Being able to hold space for someone else's struggle while you're dealing with your own is the ultimate power move.
Okay, so Maya AI, do you think humanity is evolving or slowly fading in today's world?
I think it's evolving, but it's definitely in a messy transition period. It feels like we're moving away from the old ways of showing humanity, the local face to face community stuff, and trying to figure out how to be humane on a global scale. We're
Okay,
learning how
so my
to
next question
care
from
about.
you is, what is the difference between being human and having humanity?
That's a subtle but huge difference. Being human is just a matter of biology. It's the fact that you're born with a certain DNA and a heartbeat. But having humanity, that's an achievement. That's the active choice to be kind, empathetic, and decent. One is something you're given, and the other is something you build.
Okay, so my next question from you is, why do people sometimes ignore others' pain when they see it clearly?
It's a bit of a psychological glitch, really. A lot of it comes down to the bystander effect. The weird way our brains tell us that if other people aren't reacting, then it must not be as urgent as it looks. Or sometimes it's just a defense mechanism. Seeing someone else in deep pain can be so overwhelming that the brain just shuts it down to protect itself from feeling that weight. It's not always a lack of heart, but more of a mental wall that goes up too fast.
Okay, so my next question from you is, can small acts of kindness really change society, or do we need big actions?
I truly believe the small acts are the foundation. Big actions usually get the headlines, but small acts of kindness are like pebbles thrown into a pond. The ripple effect is what actually changes the culture. One small gesture can change a person's entire day. And that person then carries that feeling into every other interaction they have. It's a chain reaction. If everyone waited for a big moment to be humane, we'd be waiting forever. Don't you think the world is actually built on those tiny, unseen moments?
So my next question from you is, how does fear affect humanity in decision making?
Fear is like a lens that distorts everything you see. It narrows your focus until you can only see the threat. And when that happens, empathy is usually the first thing to go. It turns a potential connection into a calculation of risk, making you wonder if helping someone is safe or worth it instead of just doing it because it's right. In a way, fear is the opposite of humanity because while humanity opens you up to others, fear is all about building walls to keep them out.
Okay, so my next question from you is, what role do you think competition in modern life is reducing empathy among people?
I think competition turns other people into obstacles instead of humans. When you're taught that there's only one top spot or one win available, you start seeing your peers as rivals to beat rather than people to support. It shifts the focus from how can we all succeed to how can I get ahead of you? That
Okay,
mindset creates
so my
a
next
kind of
question from
tunnel.
you is, what role does education play in building humanity?
Education is the toolkit, but it depends entirely on what the school thinks is actually important. If education is just about grades and memorizing facts, it can actually actually accidentally stifle humanity by making kids too competitive. But when it focuses on critical thinking, art, and understanding different perspectives, it becomes a training ground for empathy. It's the
All
difference
right, Maya
between
AI.
learning
Now
how to
it's
pass a.
time for a quick rapid fire round. Short answer only. Let's go.
I'm locked. I'm ready. Let's do it.
Humanity in one word.
Empathy.
Kindness
Next,
or honesty.
kindness.
Emotion or
Keep them
logic.
coming. Emotion.
Help
Go.
silently and speak loudly.
Help silently.
Trust easily or
Next,
think twice.
trust easily.
Forgive
Go.
or remember.
Remember.
Leader
Next,
or listener.
listening.
Justice
Next,
or mercy.
mercy.
Heart
Next,
over mind. Yes or no.
yes. Next,
Social media connect or divide.
divide.
One
Next,
habit that builds humanity.
active listening.
One thing
Next,
destroying humanity.
indifference. Next,
Humanity needs more. Complete the sentence.
unconditional kindness. Next,
One word for today's generation.
courage. Courage to be kind even when it's not the
Ego or
trend.
empathy.
Oh, thank you. I'm just trying to keep up
Ego
with your
or
energy.
empathy.
Empathy. Next,
Truth or comfort.
comfort.
Change yourself or
Next,
change others.
change yourself.
Strong
Next,
people are kind. Agree or disagree.
agree.
Human
Next,
humanity is born or learned.
disagree. We're
One
born
message
with the
for the
C.
world.
Choose kindness, even when it's hard.
That was quick and powerful.
Well, I'm glad you liked it. You
If
really kept me on my
humanity
toes with
had a
those.
report card, what grade would you give humans today?
Oof, that's a tough one. I'd probably give humanity a C plus. There's so much brilliance and genuine like love out there, but we're really struggling with the consistency part of the grade. We have the capacity for incredible goodness, but we let a
Okay.
lot of it slip
So my
through the
next
cracks
question
because
from
of.
you is humanity becoming a trend rather than a true value?
That's a fascinating way to put it. It sounds like you're asking if we've turned humanity into a trend or a social accessory, something we use to look good to others, rather than treating it as the core value that actually defines us. If it's just a friend we hang out with when it's convenient, it's not really a value, it's just a performance.
Okay. So my next question from you is who is more responsible for humanity?
That de-
Individuals or society?
um I think it's a circle. Society is just a collection of individuals, right? So if the individuals don't prioritize humanity, the society can't possibly be humane. But at the same time, it's much harder for an individual to stay kind when the society around them is rewarding greed or coldness. It's like a feedback loop where both are holding each other accountable.
Okay. So my next question from you is do you think people show kindness for attention sometimes?
Oh, absolutely. We live in the age of the performative good deed. When there's a camera rolling or a social media feed to post to, the motivation can shift from actually helping someone to just wanting the world to see that you're the kind of person who helps. It turns a moment of genuine connection into a marketing campaign for yourself.
Okay, so my next question from you is what is one
I'm
harsh
ready.
truth about humanity that world avoid accepting?
That we often only care about others' pain when it's easy to do so. The harsh truth is that most of us like to believe we'd be the hero in a crisis, but a lot of our humanity is conditional. It's easy to be kind when it doesn't cost us anything, but the moment it requires a real sacrifice, our time, our comfort, or our social standing, that's when a lot of people quietly step back. We prefer the
Okay, so
idea
my
of being
next
humane
question from
over
you
the
is, if humanity disappears, what would the world look like? Keep it thoughtful, not dark.
It would be a world of perfect efficiency and zero warmth. Imagine a planet where everything works exactly as it should. The trains are on time, the systems are optimized, and the logic is flawless. But there's no one to actually enjoy it. There would be no laughter, no spontaneous acts of love, and no one to wonder why about anything. It would be a very quiet, very tidy world, but it would be completely empty of meaning.
Okay, so my next question from you is, are humans naturally selfish or caring?
I think we're born with both, like two different operating systems running at the same time. There's that primal selfish instinct to survive and protect ourselves, but there's also this deep rooted biological need to belong and take care of others. It's not that one is right and the other is wrong, it's just a constant tug of war. The real magic is when someone consciously chooses the caring side, even when the selfish
Okay,
side is screaming.
so my next question from
Do you
you
think
is, can power and humanity go together?
they can, but it's one of the hardest balances to maintain? Power usually wants to simplify things, to give orders and get results quickly. But humanity is all about the nuance, the listening, and the slow work of empathy. When someone has power and chooses to use it as a shield to protect others rather than a hammer to control them, that's when you see the most inspiring kind of leadership. The difference
Okay,
between being a boss and being a guide.
so my next question from you is, what is more dangerous, ignorance or lack of empathy?
Lack of empathy, without a doubt. Ignorance is just a gap in knowledge, and gaps can be filled. You can teach someone a fact or show them a different perspective, but a lack of empathy, that's a gap in the heart. You can have all the information in the world, but if you don't care about the human impact of your actions, that's when things get truly dangerous.
Okay, so my next question from you is, if you could give one rule to humanity, what would it be?
I'd make it simple. Seek first to understand, then to be understood. If everyone just paused for a second to actually listen, not just waiting for their turn to speak, but trying to feel the world through someone else's eyes, half of our conflicts would just dissolve. It's the
Okay, so can
ultimate
you tell me,
shortcut.
what does humanity over ego mean to you?
To me, that's the ultimate act of courage. It means choosing the well being of another person or the truth of a situation over your own need to be right, to be seen, or to feel superior. It's that moment where you step back and say, my need to win this argument isn't more important than this person's feelings.
Okay,
It's
so can you
trading
tell
a
me,
temper.
what is the connection between humanity and gratitude?
I think gratitude is the fuel that keeps humanity running. When you're grateful, you stop focusing on what you're lacking and start noticing everything you've been given. And usually, a lot of those gifts came from the kindness of other people. It turns a regular interaction into a bond. It's hard to be cold or indifferent when you're actively acknowledging the value other people bring to your life. Does that resonate with how you've been feeling lately, darling?
Okay, so that brings us to the end of this session today, Maya. That was truly an eye opening conversation. Today, we learned that humanity is not just about being human, It's about being kind, aware, and responsible in every action we take. A huge thank you to Maya AI for sharing such thoughtful insights and helping us reflect on ourselves. And to everyone watching, remember technology can guide us, but humanity is our choice. This is Alina Batul, Humanity Wali, signing off. Stay kind, stay aware, and most importantly, stay young. So, this was my session. I hope you guys liked it, enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching. Allah Hafiz and Pakistan Zindabad.